able to do more for Cameroonians?
I think a pat on the back from a father always pushes the son to do more. I'm encouraged. It's the second time I'm receiving that kind of pat. 2017, I was Chevalier de l'Ordre de la Valeur, that's Knight of the Order of Valor, and now it's officer. It tells me that what I'm doing is not being hidden. At least when you're busy doing something, you don't know that people are watching. And most especially if it's your father that is watching, if it's the most senior authority that is watching, and then tells you, oh son, I see what you're doing, it's very encouraging. I'm just trying not to do a plaidoyer, like they'll say, for my generation, to say to the head of state that there are many more like Rogers Nforgwei in different sectors of the country, in different parts of the country, doing great things, and it will be very encouraging. We are anxious to show what we are capable of doing. I think that if many more like me are being sought for and encouraged, we will be bringing our support and our contribution to develop the country.
Entrepreneur from the northwest region of Cameroon who migrated to Yaoundé a few years back and was able to build a business in the nation's political capital, which has gone national. What is your experience about national unity?
Thank you very much. I think we should keep away the word migrated because we are in our country and we should feel free to move to any part of the country. That's where national unity begins. National unity today might be challenged, as we all see and know, but it doesn't mean that it should be broken and thrown away to the dogs. In every family, you can have squabbles. Parents sometimes have their issues, but we don't have divorces every day just because people are quarreling, and we don't have family scattering because brothers and sisters are not talking or are not happy with one another. But me residing in Yaoundé ever since I came for school and finished school and started to do business here, I think I am an epitome of that national unity. I'm not only stationed in Yaoundé. I remember the prefect of Mefu Afamba told me that you left Nkambe, you passed Bafoussam and Bamenda, you passed Yaoundé, and you came to Mbankomo. You know, so it's like I'm actually right in the village, one of the villages of Cameroon, and the business is gone. Not national, is international from here. So I think that we should be focused on the fact that we belong to a country, and we have the right, and we have our liberty and freedom to feel free in any part of that country. I understand that sometimes you need that political will or your father to let you know that you have the right to stay in any room in the house. So we should not give up on our unity. No part of the country has all that anybody needs. So where the part of the country that has what you need, that you think you can do well there, have the freedom and liberty to move there and do it. And then we still have to launch an appeal to those in power who are managing our unity, because unity has to be managed. It's being managed. That please, as you manage the unity, speak to us, speak to everybody, get people to know that they should feel free everywhere. Also provide the security for them to feel free everywhere they are, because sometimes, you know, within a family there will be squabbles, but there must be a father that judges and keeps the children together. Otherwise, I understand the situation we are in, but I am okay functioning in any part of the country. So I encourage everyone else to have that kind of mindset.
To Mr. Rogers Nforgwei, probably in your early days to be focused on competitive entrance examinations into schools like ENAM, ENS, IRIG, maybe to be a top civil servant today, but you choose the path of entrepreneurship. Was it an easy choice?
No. The choices that you make sometimes because you don't have an option, actually. Where, I mean, we know the challenges of getting into some of those schools. We'll not go into that detail, right? Because it will take a long time. It will take us off track of our conversation. But when you don't have, when people believe that you need a backing to go to some schools to be able to serve your country, and then you know that you don't have any backing, you don't even need to have any ambition in that area. Because as orphan, as early as I was, without any fallback position, who could lift you up and things, except for your God on whom you count. It was not something for me to think about at all. So I just knew that I have to jump into the big, deep blue sea and try to swim. And because I like to be able to give myself what I want, because of the kind of poverty I came from, I did not want to go back to it. And I did not want anybody to be in control of how I fight my poverty. I wanted to be in control of myself. And I know that it's only by doing your own thing that you can take responsibility for yourself and accountability. If you're not able to deliver yourself from your trouble, then you don't blame anybody for it. So today, with that decision, I was able to get into business. And by the grace of God, I have pushed it with the courage that it takes. And I am where I am today, but still serving the country. You don't have to absolutely go into civil service to serve the country. The medals that were given to me is not because I work in the civil service, for instance. I think that the civil service is not the best company to employ people. Any civil service that wants to employ thousands and millions of people is going to crack. It's going to crash, actually. What the civil service should be doing, or government should be doing, is facilitating the environment so that small family, sole proprietorship businesses should flourish. And when they flourish, they can create jobs. That's what I would encourage government to do. Listen to people who are trying hands at doing things, creating jobs, starting small businesses, give them grace periods, encourage them in any way that you can politically afford to do so that they can create more jobs. But government cannot create all the jobs.
From your explanation, you were not born with a silver spoon in your mouth. When you look back at the path which you've been able to travel so far, do you regret the fact that you were born in that background?
I have seen, I don't want to put it this way, but I have seen people who have had the best support in life and found life easy, and then they did not learn to work hard. So sometimes when you're born in a background that challenges you, you push harder and you make it. Some philosopher, I don't know the name, but I've read it, he said that tough times make tough people make weak people. Because tough people, when they make things happen, they facilitate life for people and they become weak. And then those weak people make times tough for the tough people again. So it's a vicious cycle. But I've learned to like challenges because they push me on. They make you think, they make you grow. But when life is easy, your mind doesn't search enough. The human mind is very big, is awesome. So because of that, I think that even if I regretted my background, I wouldn't be able to change anything about the background. It's giving me the opportunity to have more faith in God. They say, cow will not get tail, and God will drive and fly. So seeing that I had no tail, and that today I seem to have many tails that are driving away flies for myself, I think that that kind of situation makes you to believe in a God. And I don't want to go there, maybe when we get to that part of my life, you will realize that many people who became great in Bible times were the lowly that God lifted up to show his power.
Master Rogers Nforgwei, based on those experiences which you had in your childhood, and of course today you are a great man who is established in Yaoundé. Many young people today who try to follow the same path say it is very difficult because some of them have tried to create some businesses, but most of the time they always crash and they get discouraged. What is your message to them?
My message to anyone trying anything is what everybody knows. I'm not saying something new. Quitters are losers. You know, anytime you quit, you're losing. But there's also the other part of it that you need to, each time you have a challenge, you take it as a moment of recess where you rethink, this thing I'm doing, do I really enjoy doing it? Do I have the aptitude to do it? Am I called to do it? Am I graced to do it, for those who also use Christian language? And then you'll see whether you should continue in that or you should change direction. Because there's a lot of people that have jumped into doing things that they are not equipped for it in any way, not even by way of passion. Because the first thing that makes you succeed in anything you do is the passion for it, the love for it. Because when you don't have passion for something, you do it out of, you are compelled, you feel compelled. And nobody likes to be compelled, seriously speaking. When you feel compelled, you're not happy. So waking up to something every day because you feel compelled, you will not be excited. But meanwhile, excitement is part of entrepreneurship. You should be excited about it no matter what it is. So you don't give up at the first chance, but use that at the first difficulty, to assess yourself and see, is this where I should be? Should I be doing this or not? Or should I be doing something else? But if you really know that this is what you feel in your heart that this is what you should be doing, then know that those challenges are supposed to be stepping stones on which you stand. You learn, because you learn by falling forward. You fall and then you learn. The next time you don't fall again in that same situation. That is what I would tell them.
Talking about entrepreneurship, we have many young people today who believe that they must make money very fast. And so when they launch a project, maybe after 1 or 2 years, the project doesn't work, they get discouraged because they have bills to handle. And when they look at the social media, they see lots of success, social media success, and they give up. So what do you have to tell them?
What I want to tell them is that you don't succeed by looking for money. I've said this, and some people are like, what do you mean? Seriously, you don't succeed by looking. You succeed by rendering a service. You succeed by selling a value. What product are you selling? Is it a product that's needed? An entrepreneur is he who brings solution to a need. So if you're selling what nobody needs, in whatever way it is, whether it's physical product or intellectual product or whatever your services, then you will not make it. And once you put money in front, you want to do just anything to get money. I would encourage them to learn to serve and let money come on the service. Seriously, that's a great way to go. And how you start the business is also important. You may get small money to start a business, and then the first thing you do, you go posh, you buy big things and set up big offices to do small things, and then you want to buy a car, and then the next thing you're talking about, you're going on holiday, you're doing face booking, or what they call, some people call it fake booking. You want to show off. It's that show off thing that makes people fail quickly, and they feel ashamed when they are failed. Then they quit. Oh, people knew that I was this, now I've failed, I cannot be here anymore, so they shy away. But if I show you how I began my business, it was in my bedroom. I had a computer at the corner, and my bed was in the other corner. And then I moved from my bedroom to another house where I could now use one room in the house for my office, before I ever moved out to start an office. But people just start today, and they have a large office with a startup. So you must be modest. And you must be true to yourself and be real.
Wet blankets, I'm sure that you had that experience probably at the time when you were starting your business. There were some people who were acting as wet blankets, discouraging you, Mr. Rogers Nforgwei, you're not going to succeed. And then suddenly when you succeeded, the same people start coming back to praise you. What do you have to tell young people who face this similar challenge?
Don't listen to people. And today, when I was young, I felt that these people were obstructing me, but now that I've matured, I am actually thankful to everyone that tried to obstruct me, seriously. Because when they blocked my way, I had to think on how to get around that blockage to make it. Because I have just my life to defend, man. You have to remember that. And if you let anybody block you, then you've given up on life. So what happens next to you? You will always be blocked. Progress offends many people. That you must just know, it's human nature to be envious and to be jealous when they see you making it and they're not making it. Sometimes even when they're making it, they feel that they should be making it alone, so they have to block you. So I've realized, and I'm thankful to anybody out there who has intentionally tried to block me from doing anything, because it has helped me to think. It has helped me to grow strong. And I tell everyone who's listening, don't let anybody stop you from living and growing to the life that God has given you.
The northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon are facing lots of challenges this time around. We've already spoken about it, and surely they need the help of our elite, and you're one of them. You are president of the Wimbum Cultural and Development Association, WICUDA. What are some of the projects you are carrying out back there in Donga Mountain? Because I don't understand why most development associations, when they come together, the first thing they think about, they just want to build a hall. Okay, let us build a hall.
Yeah, really. Yeah, really. I don't also understand it. I assessed my community, and I have spoken to some of the leaders. I said, look at how many small halls we have out of our place, and imagine how much money we have put into that. If we had thought carefully and consolidated our projects, we might have done one good place that we can use in each city, instead of having 4 or 5 in the same city, because we are different villages. My village is a clan that has, my community is the 3 clan community with a number of villages, and every village wants to have a hall of their own. Can you imagine that? That you're wasting money out here. So one of the things I'm doing is not fixing, I don't want to put it that way, is changing mindsets, selling the idea that we can do things differently. the first thing you want to do as a community development is not building a hall here. You want to find a way to empower people so that if they have the means, they can build a house back home. You want to put people together and say, how can you lift someone, or how can you help them to be better? Even just changing somebody's mind, giving them an idea makes them prosperous. You see that. But in terms of solid projects, because a human capital building in a community setting is almost intangible. You only get to see when things have changed, and it's working right now. But concretely speaking, we've been able to reorganize our community. So far in the one year, 6 months I've been in control, so to say. We now have, at least we have our funds have an association which we facilitated for them to create so that they can talk things together and be one mouth fixing our traditional problems and intervillage issues. We've been able to embed the new mindset in a revised constitution, which today is being rolled out and encouraging globalization in leadership in modern times, and so that is on the side. But we're also right now trying to focus on what we call mass funding for community progress and development, because the practice has been when we have a project, then we do fundraising, and then we use all the money for that project, and we have no reserves. And in that fundraising, we go to a handful of individuals all the times begging for money. But now if we go to mass funding, where we're mobilizing everybody to say we are one people, and we can have a one basket funding, where everybody puts just a bit of money, and we'll have a lot of money in the end to do things. When I was launching the constitution in the Yaoundé branch, I said, let's take, for instance, 500,000 people, giving 2,000 francs. And we were shocked that that could give like 1 billion. 2,000 francs, and it hurts nobody. But now we go to people and we're expecting 1 million from some people, 500 from some others, because in the end you might have only about 20 or 30 people that will be supporting the community. Meanwhile, you have thousands of people. So those are the kind of things that we are trying, the mindset we're trying to bring on board to help people to understand that when we are many of us and we are together, we make things easier for each other. They say many hands do light work, right? So my project now continues to be that building of the community where people understand that we are supposed to be working together. One of the things, the mindset change I'm trying to bring is, before they felt like it's a development association, is apolitical, but the word was being misunderstood. They were trying to keep away politicians and say, well, you're a politician, we don't want politicians in Wikuda. But being a politician has never been a criteria for being born in a community. And people born in communities can become anything. Being a politician by profession is a career. Why should we run away from or send away a brother or a sister because they have chosen the career of politics? So I've brought, I'm bridging that gap. Not just say I've done completely yet, but I'm bridging the gap. And the language now is our brothers and sisters who are politicians are first of all women.
Let's talk about book publishing now, which is your sector, the sector of books. And many people have been asking the question, with the digital age, is the book publishing sector still a profitable, lucrative business that you could encourage young entrepreneurs to get into? So we just want to understand how the business can keep on working this time around.
Thank you for touching on that. Actually, digitalization is, to be honest and frank, is not a challenge for publishing in most parts of Africa and Cameroon, more or less to say. I don't just get excited about what people get excited about. I've traveled the world, I've done publishing on the international scene, and we know the parts of the world that digitalization can affect publishing. And even there, it is still not killing it yet, because the print book is still working. So it's still just another medium where you need to be prepared for, so that when it comes into your territory, you know exactly how to harness it for your own good. So if change kills you when you resist it. So digitalization is just part of change, but we just come to modify the same industry. Publishing is about content creation. Now the print book or the online is a medium of distribution.
Rogers Nforgwei, I'm also concerned about the content of the books. We still have the impression in Cameroon and in Africa that sometimes the content of what is being dished out to students and pupils does not really reflect, the African reality. We spend time printing books about European realities, about American realities, when we are not teaching people about what they should know concerning their immediate environment. Do you have, as publishers, can you fix this in one way or the other?
I think we've gone past that a bit, because the curricula in our country now reflects our context. But the problem is people think that the fact that you print a book in Asia means that the book is done in Asia. But before, that was a fight we had, that we should not be using books from other countries. We managed to get over that fight, and today the paradigm has changed. But the challenge now is that the content. What is the vision of the curriculum that is in the books? Does it prepare people for the job market? That's what we should be looking at. And I don't think that the curriculum that we have right now in Cameroon prepares people for the job market. We need people thinking. I take, for instance, when you talk about moral education. I'll give you an example. It's a good thing to do. But when you get an ordinary pedagogue trained from École Normale to teach the Bible, the religious studies, what do they have in terms of religion, in terms of Christianity or Buddhism or Muslim or whatever? So you should be looking at what content do we have and who is teaching that content. We need wisdom. I think many times leaders forget, when you are put in a position of leadership, you feel that you are put there because you know it all. You're simply put there because you have some aptitudes, and they feel that you should be able to have the intelligence to gather from many people and make the best decision that can work for people. And when you're working with people, it's God's wisdom that you need. It means
that we should encourage entrepreneurs in the book publishing sector. That is, they should be people who master the domain. It should not be someone who has his money and just say, I have my money, I want to be a publisher.
That has been the problem, because when people come in, they're opportunists that come in, and they have other things that is their primary activity. Then publishing is secondary. You can't take servicing knowledge as a secondary activity. Government should be concerned about who is providing services to our education system. Are they professional enough in that area, or are they just adventurers who just want to come in and make money? We're talking about growing people. If you don't develop the mindset of your citizens, you're a poor country forever. You're a weak country forever. So you're right.
Mr. Rogers Nforgwei, let us end by talking about believing God. Yeah. I did not know when I was coming, but when I reached, I was told that I was coming to also see a man of God, yeah. And which, of course, is somehow encouraging to see that we still have people today who have succeeded and who are children of God. Can you tell us how God has contributed to your success?
Thank you very much for that question. Actually, those who should succeed should be people of children of God, who believe in God. We can get all the science about how the world was created, the boom bang stuff and whatever. I don't know whether you think that you were created from a boom bang, or just the fact that your parents lived together and they had you. I mean, there's some mystery about it. Let me tell you, summarily, so that I don't waste your time, about why it's important to believe in God. You see that many people, when they have gained a certain level of society, they get into sects and into societies. You know, you understand what I'm talking about. They get into witchcraft practice and all those other things, those different orders of religions that you don't know. Do you know why they do that? Because they realize that they're empty. There's a level in life that you get to it, you need power that is above your power to succeed. And now when you don't know that God gives that power, anybody proposes you any power, you go to it. So God has been my only bedrock. I grew up in a family where my mother was serving a church. In fact, the land that my father built a house on and we stayed in when I grew up to here, it was because the church rewarded my mom for her faithful services to the church. So that's how we grew up. And I've grown up into ministry. And today, God is using me to, what I'm doing for Wikuda, for instance, is ministry. What is religion? Religion is a gospel of goodness, of love, of peace. And that's what is helping me to lead my community. Because the heart I have cannot harbor hatred because of God in it. Now, am I saying that I am perfect? No. If you make me angry, I'll be angry. But that anger will not stay for long, because the Bible says that let the sun not set on your anger. So it's hard for me to keep a grudge with somebody and not have to deal with somebody because I hate them. So love cannot flow from the same heart as hatred.
So let's understand the meaning of ministry, as you've said. Today we have the impression that once someone says he is called by God, we just see them, start asking for money. I want to build a church, I need land, please send me money. And we have the impression that that is the only ministry. Can we say that when someone is called by God, it automatically means the person needs to go and create a church somewhere, or does God call people into particular sectors?
Now, thank you for that question, and I hope that some of those who say that in ministry will watch my answer. Did you not hear, for them who read the Bible, and maybe you, was Jesus in a church every day? Jesus was in the marketplace. He was preaching from one place to the other, talking about and healing people and doing good to people anywhere he was. I am an apostle of God, but I don't have a church. But I'm being called by churches to minister. I'm called to crusade programs. I'm called to speak in various programs. But what you want to do is, where you are called, when you carry God in you, even if you're in government, you can do government as ministry. Let the next person working with you know that you're not going to steal government's money, because the Bible tells you not to take what doesn't belong to you. That's ministry. Ministry is living joyfully, happily with everybody in love, and then not doing bad. If you're doing that wherever you are a child of God. Honestly speaking, I ask the question, like, how do people sit in churches? Because many people sit in churches, right? And they go to government offices and they own businesses. But when they go to the office, you hear that they stole money. They embezzle state money, but they sit in churches. So sitting in a church or having a church doesn't make you necessarily a minister of God. Sitting in a church doesn't make you a Christian. There are church goers and there are Christians. Christianity is a revelation of God in the heart of a man. When Jesus was asking his disciples, he said, "Who do men say I am?" And they gave different names, and then Peter said, "You are the Son of God." He said, "That was revealed to you by my Father in heaven." He said, "Upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail." I'll build my church, upon this rock, the rock of what? The revelation. When you have revelation knowledge, when you live life by revelation, you're a rock. Because I tell you the truth, I did not used to believe before, but now I live it, where before things happen to me, maybe not everything,